Midnight. Every bank account on Earth hits zero at the same second. Every coin, every crumpled bill, every gift card gone. Your savings vanished. Your debts also vanished along with the bank that was keeping score. 8 billion people wake up owing nothing and wanting breakfast. Welcome back to the Academy. Today we delete money itself and find out what it actually was this whole time. Here is how this works. At midnight, anything whose only job is to be money stops existing. Cash, coins, bank balances, gift cards, the airline miles you were saving for a trip you were never going to take. All gone. But the stuff stays. Houses, bread, cows, tools, your neighbor's suspiciously large collection of canned peaches. All still here. Nothing real was destroyed. Only the scoreboard was wiped. And one more rule, because this is the Academy and we know you. No cheating with gold. Gold only works as money if everyone agrees that it does. And this morning, nobody agrees on anything. Take notes. There will be a quiz. The quiz is lunch. Minute 1. The Great Zero. Alarms of a different kind now. Every phone in the world lighting up with the same push notification. Balance, 0. At the gas station, a card declines with such finality that the machine seems embarrassed. A man tries to pay for coffee with a firm handshake and a compliment. It does not work, but the barista respects the confidence. And here is the strange part. Nobody is actually poorer this morning. The bakery still smells like bread. The problem is simpler and much funnier. The baker has bread, you want bread, and neither of you has any idea what it costs. So, who gets breakfast? Hour 1. The first trade in the new world, and you saw this coming. A man walks up to the bakery holding a chicken. An actual, live, extremely confident chicken. And it almost works, except the baker does not want a chicken. The baker wants her leaky roof fixed. The roofer would love some bread. But he needs a dentist. The dentist is fine, thanks, but she would absolutely take the chicken, except the chicken guy has a toothache and wants the dentist. And now 4 adults are standing in a parking lot drawing a diagram. Economists call this the double coincidence of wants. For a trade to happen, you must want what I have at the exact moment I want what you have. It is why pure barter is not an economy. It is a scavenger hunt. And it is why what happens next happens so fast. Day 1. Money reinvents itself because it always does. We know this because it has been watched up close in the worst possible conditions. In the Second World War, a young economist named Radford was locked in a prisoner of war camp, and he did the most economist thing imaginable. He took notes. Inside the camp, with no banks and no cash, a currency appeared within days. Cigarettes. Rations of coffee and jam had prices posted in cigarettes. Even prisoners who did not smoke accepted them, and that detail is the entire secret. Money is not the thing you can use. Money is the thing everyone else will accept. In our new world, the same race starts before dinner. Batteries, bottled water, painkillers, phone chargers. Whatever wins, one rule holds. Nobody voted. It just emerged. Week 1. And now the part of the story that sounds invented, except it genuinely happened in Ireland in 1970. The country's main banks went on strike and closed. Not for a day. For 6.5 months. No deposits, no withdrawals, no clearing, nothing. By every textbook, the economy should have seized like an engine without oil. Instead, it grew. People kept writing checks to each other. Checks that no bank would process for half a year. And the checks themselves started circulating, passed from hand to hand like cash. When official checks ran out, people wrote their own. On notebook paper. And the credit check, the thing that decided whose paper was good? The local pub. The landlord knew exactly who was good for it, who was working, who was lying. For 6.5 months, the Irish economy ran on handwriting and the memory of bartenders. It worked because money was never really the paper. It was the trust behind the paper. Month 1. Which brings us to the strangest bank on earth, and the lesson it has been teaching for centuries. On the island of Yap, in the Pacific, money is stone. Giant carved stone wheels, some 12 feet across and heavier than a car. You do not carry them to the market. You do not carry them anywhere. When a stone changes owners, the stone does not move. The island simply remembers out loud that it belongs to someone else now. One famous stone fell off a canoe generations ago and sank to the bottom of the sea. Nobody has seen it since. It stayed money. It kept changing owners, sitting in the dark on the ocean floor, because everyone agreed it was still there and still theirs to trade. And before you laugh at the islanders, one of the most famous economists of the last century pointed out that the gold in the biggest vaults does exactly the same thing. It changes countries without moving a single bar. The Bank of England once put a number on the modern version. About 3% of money exists as physical cash. The other 97% is entries in computers. Your money was already invisible. It was already just a ledger. Midnight did not delete your wealth. It deleted a spreadsheet. So here is the real lesson, the one historians and anthropologists keep shouting into the void. The story you learned, where ancient people bartered until coins were invented, is a myth. Anthropologists have searched for centuries and never found a single society that actually ran on pure barter. Not one. What they found instead everywhere was credit. I owe you one. You helped me raise my barn. I will help with your harvest. Money did not replace barter. Money wrote down the favors. Money is memory, which means our scenario was never really an apocalypse. The skills survived midnight. The tools survived. The trust survived, mostly. What died was the scoreboard, and scoreboards can be rebuilt. But be careful who rebuilds it, because the second lesson is quieter and sharper. Whoever keeps the ledger runs the game. Yesterday it was banks. This morning it is whoever the town believes. Which brings us to the grand finale. 1 year in, back at the diner, obviously. The robot still runs the grill. But look at the wall, because the neighborhood has invented its currency, and it is a corkboard. The tab wall. Every favor, every loaf, every roof repair, pinned and initialed. The whole town's economy in pushpins, curated by the one person whose memory everybody trusts. Grandma. She is the central bank now. Her interest rate is a look of disappointment. Bad credit means she tells your mother. And parked out front, on the lawn, sits the town's savings account. One enormous stone wheel, 12 feet tall, with a small polite sign that reads, "Do not roll." Epilogue. The chicken, the first currency of the new age, was never actually spent. Nobody could agree on her exchange rate, and honestly, by week 2, nobody wanted to. She lives behind the diner now, fully retired, with a little bronze statue out front. The plaque says, "Worth more than money," which is either deep economics or the town admitting they got outsmarted by a chicken. Grandma keeps the very first IOU from the corkboard framed above the register. She learned what money really is. So can you?
Is the dean. Before you go, money is memory. So here is the practical version. Your reputation is a ledger too. Every promise you keep is a deposit. Every one you break is a withdrawal. And the exchange rate on a broken promise is brutal. You can rebuild a bank account in a year. A trust account takes a decade. So pay the small debt first. The borrowed book, the late replay, the favor you owe. And class is never really dismissed.
Next time at the academy, sleep becomes illegal. 8 hours a night, banned by law, effective immediately. Coffee becomes a controlled substance. Your dreams need a permit, and your brain quietly starts charging you interest you cannot afford. Bring a pillow. You will not be allowed to use it. You have been watching the Absurd Academy, where the scenarios are fake and the lessons are load-bearing. Class dismissed.